Hello everyone, chapter 5 heat measurement. Let's see first temperature, then we will see the units which are used in measuring the temperature. So temperature is defined as the degree of hotness or coldness. It is measured by using a device called thermometer. Heat is the total amount of energy in a substance. Temperature is the average energy due to the motion of the molecules of a substance. As the heat increases, temperature also increases. Heat flows from body at higher temperature to the lower temperature until both attains the same temperature. The greater the amount of a substance, the greater the heat required to raise its temperature. And the units used in measuring the temperature are Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin. And these are indicated by symbol C, F and K. Now let's see the thermometer. These are the thermometer in which mercury is present. And here you can see a scale in Fahrenheit and here a scale in Celsius. And this is how when the temperature increases, the rise in the mercury also increases, and when the temperature decreases, the decrease in the mercury also decreases in a thermometer. And in cold, less kinetic energy is there, means the air molecules move slower. In cold air, mercury does not rise, so that's why the mercury has not been rise here, the movement is slower. Whereas in warm, the kinetic energy is more, molecules move rapidly in warm, so air causing mercury to rise, and these are causing this mercury, red color is causing mercury to rise, and this indicates the rise in temperature. We know the temperature is measured by a device called thermometer, and it is made up of longer narrow glass tube with a bulb at one end. The narrow tube appears as a continuous silver line because it is fitted with mercury. And mercury is a metal which is used in liquid state at room temperature, and it is readily expands or contracts at slightest change in temperature. Hence mercury is used in thermometer because it has being a capacity to change at a slightest change in the temperature. And here you can see a water molecules. When it is in liquid state, the movement is slower. When it is in water vapor state, the movement of the molecule is more. And if water is heated, the temperature in the thermometer is also rising. And if ice cubes are dropped in a hot water, the ice melts. This shows the temperature of a hot water is transferred to a ice cube, that is with less temperature. Let's see heat versus temperature. Heat and temperature are both are different terms. Whereas heat is a form of energy which flows from the hotter region to a cooler region, and whereas temperature is a degree of hotness and coldness of a body. Temperature is a measurement of a hotness or a coldness of a body, but whereas the heat is a form of energy which flows from a hotter region to a cooler region, and it is measured in joules, and whereas temperature is measured in kelvins and Celsius. And it flows from hotter area to a cold area, and temperature rises when it is heated and decreases when it is cooled. And when it is in solid state, the molecules are compactly arranged, and when it is in liquid state, the molecules are having intercellular spaces, and when it is in gaseous state, the intermolecular spaces are more, and it moves randomly. And when something is heated, it undergoes certain reactions called radiations, convections and conductions, whereas temperature only shows a decrease and increase in the level of the temperature. Because with this we can only measure the temperature. And energy is a form of energy which is neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be converted into one form to the other. Here you can see solar energy is trapped by the plants, and it changes the solar energy into chemical energy by a process called photosynthesis. And this is coal which is collected by this tractor, and this chemical energy is converted into heat energy in the furnace, and this generating the steam. And heat energy means it is here, this is changing into this chemical energy is changing into a heat energy, and then heat energy is converted into kinetic energy in the boiler, and this kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy in the generator. And here the electricity is generating with this kinetic energy. This is a chemical energy like crackers, which is converted into heat energy and sound energy. And if we eat anything our body converts that chemical energy into energy for growth, warmth and movement. And here you can see at the temperature of molecules having higher temperature and it is having a lower temperature. From higher temperature it is transferred to the lower temperature until it attains the same temperature. And hydroelectricity work means in dams how the electricity are produced. Here you can see from a dam the water is going into a turbine and it is causing the rotation of this generator, and this when it is rotating the powerhouse is generating the electricity and it is supplied to the power lines. And this is also this is also the same, the solar energy, then into chemical energy, then heat energy, and then kinetic energy to chemical energy to electric energy. And this is a project or a solar energy where the solar energy is started by the solar rays, and this solar rays after heating this heat energy is converted into the solar energy is converted into electricity. In thermometer we use mercury, and mercury is represented by a symbol called Hg, and its properties are transition metals, and it is having a rhombohedral shape, and it is in liquid state, and it is weakly basic, and it is very high density, having a very high density, and it is liquid in room temperature, expands and contracts with heat, has high surface tension, and it is used in advertising signs, mercury switches, fluorescent lamps, barometers, thermometers, and this is a mercury. And we have different types of thermometer, and laboratory thermometer is used to measure the temperature, and this scale graduate generally from -10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius over the glass tube. And this division of temperature scale is further divided into 10 parts to read fraction of temperature. We have clinical thermometer, which is used by the doctors, which measure the body temperature, and this scale graduated from 35 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade, or from 90, and if we have to measure in Fahrenheit, then it is from 94 degree Fahrenheit to 108 degree Fahrenheit, which is the temperature of the human body, which remains within this range. And this is the range of on the clinical thermometer. And there is a kink mark. Here you can see there will be a kink mark in the bulb of the clinical thermometer, which prevents the automatic fall of mercury level. And this is a digital thermometer. In digital thermometer, reading of temperature is displayed digitally as in digital watches. This is because no mercury is used in this. It is important to note that mercury is a highly toxic substance. And in this maximum and minimum thermometer, this is also a one type of thermometer, and it is used to measure the daily temperature to prepare weather report. And how to use a thermometer? We have to first hold it horizontally and see the reading with our eye, and do not hold the thermometer from the bulb, not from this side, and then rotate the thermometer clockwise and anti-clockwise so that we can see the shiny silvery thread, that is mercury. The end of the silvery thread shows the reading of the temperature. If mercury lining ends at 37, the reading is 37 degree centigrade. And here we can see the readings of the temperature. And then we have to wash the bulb end of the thermometer with an antiseptic solution, and we have to give 2 to 3 jerks slightly. By doing this, we can just level down the level of the mercury fall to the bottom, and it will fall to 35 degrees centigrade or below, but it below the tongue, and then you have to put it below the tongue and wait for a minute. Take out the thermometer and read the temperature, and the temperature if it is near the 37 degrees centigrade, that is the normal body temperature of a human being will be 37 degrees Celsius, and this can differ from person to person. Let's see the use of laboratory thermometer. We have to take a water in a beaker, and then take a laboratory thermometer and immerse its bulb end in water and holding it vertically. Hold it vertically and ensure to dip whole portion of bulb. This the bottom part of it should be inside the water, and it should not touch the bottom or side of the beaker, not the bottom at the end of the beaker, but to certain distance. It should have a certain distance, and you have to repeat this with hot water and take the readings. Measuring temperature of water with a laboratory thermometer. And these are the differences between clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. And how we can see the transfer of heat. We know heat from higher temperature, it will transfer to a lower temperature until it attains the same heat or same temperature. So it is called conduction, and it will be in the form of conduction, convection, and convection and radiation. Let's see first conduction. It is a transfer of heat from one particles to the adjacent particles is known as conduction of heat. In solid, heat is transferred by the process of conduction. In this process, the transfer of heat takes place through adjacent molecules. Example, if you heat a iron rod, flame it until it is it turns into red, and then transfer to the other end of the rod. This happens because particles of iron rod which are nearer to the flame receives the heat and transfer this to the adjacent particles. Subsequently, the adjacent particles transfer the heat to the next adjacent particle. This process continues and heat reaches to the other end of the rod. Thus, heat transfer in solid takes place through conduction. So, if we heat here, this part also becomes hot. Means from heat it is transferring from the tip of from one end to the other end. And let's see conductor and insulators. Materials. First the conductors. Materials which allow heat to pass through it are called conductors and are good conductor of heat. Examples are iron, copper, aluminium. And all metals are good conductors of heat. Since mercury is a metal and found in liquid state at room temperature, that's why it is used in thermometer. Since metals are a good conductor of the heat, that's why kitchen utensils are made up of metals or alloys of metals. And materials which do not allow heat pass through them are called bad conductors or poor conductors of heat. They are called as insulators. And examples are rubber, wood, plastic, etc. This is the cause that handles of frying pans or other kitchen utensils are made of plastics. Convection. The transfer of heat because of movement of the molecules of the medium via mass transfer is called convection or convection of heat. Water and air are bad conductors of heat. Water and air. But they do become hot. In spite of being bad conductors, heat transfer is in fluids take place through convections. But how though they are bad conductors of heat, but they will get hot, and this transfer of fluids takes place through this reaction is called as convection. And let's see the convection in water first. When water is heated in a pan, the particles of water which are near the source of heat get heated first. Whatever the sources are present near the water pan, they will get heat first, and they become light and rise in water. The gap which is created between because of the rise of hot particles is filled cold particles of water from the surrounding area. Thus, a cylindrical movement of particles begins and ends up heating the whole water of the pan. The cylindrical movement in fluid because of heating is called the convection current. And let's see the convection in air. Air gets heated because of convection. The way water gets heated, air near the source of heat gets heated and rises above. This leaves a gap which is filled by the colder air from the surroundings. The convection current thus starts in air, which results in heating up of air. When you place your palm above the flame, you will feel the hotness of the flame. But when you will place your palm below the flame, the area will be colder. This shows how the colder air from below moves up due to convection current. Now let's see the radiation. We have seen convection, conduction. Now radiation. In conduction we have seen conductors, insulators, and in convections water and air. And now let's see radiations. Radiations are all are hot bodies emits heat by the process of radiations. And radiations of heat does not require a medium. Sunlight comes to the earth because of radiation, as there is no medium present between the atmosphere of the earth and the sun. One can feel the heat of bonfire by standing around it. We get warmth from the room heater because of radiation. Reflection and absorption of heat means reflection and absorption of heat. How it takes place, let's see. When heat falls over an object, some of the heat is absorbed by the body and some of the heat is reflected. The temperature of an object increases because of the absorption of heat. In conventional room heater, you can see the reflector attached with it. The reflector of the room heater reflects the heat towards the person sitting or standing near the room heater. Kinds of clothes we wear in summer and winter. Reflection is the cause that umbrella is used to protect from heat of the sun in summer. Dark color absorbs more heat while light color reflects more of the heat. That's why wearing light colored clothes is preferred in summer. Dark colored clothes are preferred in winter. Dark clothes absorbs more heat and keep one comfortable in winter. On the other hand, light clothes reflects most of the heat and keep one comfortable in summer. Nowadays, many kitchen utensils come in black color. Since utensils of black color absorbs more heat and thus cooking becomes faster. Why we wear woolen clothes? So we use these clothes in winter season. Wool is a poor conductor of heat. In addition to it, air gets trapped in the woolen fiber to further increase the poor conductivity of wool. This prevents the radiation of the heat of our body to the surroundings and prevents the cold from surroundings to affect our body. Thus, wearing woolen clothes makes one comfortable in winter season. And this is how the conduction, convection and radiation is taking place. At a certain distance, we are getting warmth of the heat, and when a certain thing is heated, how the convection is taking place. The water and the air and water is getting the heat and it is transferred into heat, and conduction means when whatever you are heating, it will transferring from one end to the other end. This is called conduction. Now let's see some important points. Temperature, that is the reliable measure of hotness or coldness of anything. Thermometer, it's a device to measure the temperature. Degree Celsius, unit of measurement of temperature. Clinical thermometer, a device to measure the temperature of human body. Laboratory thermometer, used to measure the temperature in laboratory. Maximum minimum thermometer, used to measure the temperature of climate. Conduction, mode of transfer of heat in solids. Convections, mode of transfer of heat in liquid and air. Radiation, mode of transfer of heat without medium. Conductors, materials that allow the flow of heat through them. Insulators, materials that do not allow the flow of heat through them. Land breeze, breeze that flows from land surface to sea surface in summer nights. Sea breeze, breeze that flows from sea surface to water surface in summer days. And these are the liquids used in alcohols. Mostly the alcohols used in thermometer depends on manufacture. So the liquids are ethanol, toluene, kerosene or isoamyl acetate. Since most of the liquids are transparent, they are made visible by adding red or blue color, and these are kerosene, toluene, isoamyl acetate and ethanol. Thermometer we use alcohol, and also those thermometer is known as spirit thermometer, and it is used in many ways. And these are the organic liquid that is contained in a glass bulb which is connected to a capillary wall which a one layer metal insulator that's really thin so that glasses and molecules can pass through them is in the same glass, and the end is sealed with an expansion bulb. The space above the liquid is filled with nitrogen and the vapor from the liquid. In the working temperature range, the space is in between the two surfaces and the liquid lies the capillary. As the temperature increases, the volume of the liquid expands and moves up the capillary. This happens when heat is applied to the tip of the thermometer. And this is the digital thermometer. And these are the types of thermometer. Here you can also see a Galileo thermometer, clinical thermometer, digital thermometer and laboratory thermometer. And this is here you can see a mercury level. How it will show? It will be in silvery or shiny silvery. And this is a thermometer and frost detector, and these are used nowadays a type of thermometer for checking the temperature of a human body. That is 36.5 is normal, 37.8 is high and 38.9 is fever. Measuring distance at it can be the temperature of the body can be measured from a distance of 3 to 15 centimeters, and this is another type of thermometer. Okay, thank you.